So they prepared on Friday for Shabbat, and so now we'll go into the halacha of this preparation on Shabbat. Although there's a certain amount of preparation for Shabbat, like we said yesterday, that should go on all week, the primary time to prepare is on Friday, as it is stated. But on the sixth day, they prepared, I think there's a D missing here, what they have brought in, past tense. Just as in the desert, first thing Friday morning, the Jews gathered the manna that had fallen the previous night or during the night, so too it is a mitzvah to be industrious and to prepare for Shabbat on Friday morning. And that's in the Shulchan Aruch. It is an admirable custom for women to wake up early on Shabbat, on Friday, bake challah bread for Shabbat, and perform the mitzvah of Afashat Challah. There's a discussion between the rabbis about outside of the land of Israel, but we're not going to get into that. Even though there is a mitzvah to shop early Friday, one should not do so before Shacharit. Similarly, if one normally studies Torah after praying, he should keep his routine and then immediately purchase food and prepare for Shabbat. One may go shopping before Shacharit only if there's a real concern that if he waits, there will be not be food for Shabbat left in the store. And so we'll conclude with a story, but let's just go to modern day. Achronim have written that it is preferable to buy food for Shabbat on Friday rather than Thursday, since it is more apparent on Friday that the purchases are being made to honor Shabbat. There is also another reason. In the past, when there was no refrigeration, there was no way to keep food fresh. Therefore, to make sure that the Shabbat food would be of superior quality, one had to shop and cook on Friday. However, if there are foods that might not be available on Friday or whose preparation are very time consuming, especially in the winter when Shabbat is at 4:15, they should be purchased on Thursday and maybe even prepared on Thursday night. This was true then and is certainly true now. If one is faced with two possibilities, cooking all the food on Friday and being exhausted Friday night, or cooking on Thursday, refrigerating the food and entering Shabbat calmly, they should for sure finish cooking on Thursday and leave some small things to be done on Friday. So let's conclude with this amazing story in Daf Kuf Yutet and Shabbat. So this is a quote of all the things that we said before, but the Chachamim preparing for Shabbat and participating. And so this is the only time that Yosef Makir Shabbat is mentioned in the Talmud. So the Gemara relates with regards to Yosef, who cherished the Shabbat. There was a Gentile in his neighborhood whose property was extremely plentiful, so he was very, very rich. And he had a dream, and the astrologers said to the Gentile with regard to all his property, Yosef, who cherishes Shabbat, will consume it and inherit it. So he didn't believe this. So the Gentile went and sold all of his property, and with the money he received, he bought a pearl or a gemstone,
What was the name?
placed it in his hat. Sorry. And when he was crossing the river in a ferry, the wind blew his hat and cast it into the water, and a fish swallowed it. The fish was caught and removed from the water, and it was brought to shore adjacent to nightfall on Shabbat Eve, meaning on Friday late afternoon, and nobody would buy it. The fishermen said, "Who buys fish at a time like this?" And the townspeople said to the fishermen, "Go bring it to Yosef, who cherishes Shabbat, as he regularly purchases delicacies in deference to Shabbat." They brought it to him, and he purchased it. He ripped the fish open and found the gem inside of it. He sold it for 13 vessels filled with golden dinars. That's what the explanation of Tosfot. And this elderly man who encountered him and said, "One who lends to Shabbat, Shabbat repays him." So the preparations on Friday, even if they're last minute, are rewarded by Hashem. And this is, like I said, I think a famous story. But this is the only time that this man is mentioned anywhere in the Talmud. So I'm guessing he lived somewhere near the Kinneret, the Sea of Galilee, and we'll conclude with that.